And welcome to TVC News. This hour, the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies has commenced the training of 700 staff of the National Assembly as part of a major capacity building drive to strengthen their professionalism and effectiveness. Both institutions describe this synergy as partnership that works. There is more in this report.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies remains the human capacity building hub of the nation's legislature. Over the next 2 months, NEEDS will be impacting knowledge in 700 staff of the National Assembly, cutting across different cadres. NEEDS says effective legislative work depends not only on elected lawmakers, but equally on a competent and principled bureaucratic workforce.
The legislature, by its nature, is an evolving institution in our continent, which is very dynamic, complex, and constantly responding to the shifting demands of democratic governance. To remain relevant and effective in this context, staff of National Assembly must consistently upgrade their knowledge, adopt innovative approaches, and strengthen leadership and management and capacity that drive institutional performance.
It describes the training series, which runs from October to December 2025, as a practical program that blends conceptual frameworks with comparative best practice to improve performance across the National Assembly.
This program will cover various thematic areas between October and December the year 2025, which exemplifies the Institute's enduring commitment to advancing the professional competence of the National Assembly bureaucracy, and by extension, strengthening the institutional foundation of Nigerian legislature.
The National Assembly bureaucracy appreciates the kind gesture of the Institute as it restates commitment to an efficient workforce where discipline and knowledge transfer are supreme.
While the management remains committed to the welfare and development of staff, it must also enforce discipline when necessary to maintain the integrity of our service. Let us therefore reaffirm our commitment to the values of respect, responsibility, and excellence that are hallmark of this esteemed institution, that is the National Assembly.
The series of trainings covers such critical functional areas as legislative administration, financial management, procurement processes, audit and compliance, pensions, research and publication, as well as office management, among others. Jokeyatsa, TVC News, Abuja.
And the federal government is advancing key strategic roadmap for ECOWAS trade where no member state or entrepreneur is left behind in the goal of economic viability. Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, led the charge at a one-day sensitization workshop to strengthen modalities trade liberalization scheme aims to boosting intra-regional among member states. Senior reporter Bamdele Ajayi has the story.
The Economic Community of West African State Trade Liberation Scheme, initiated in 1979, was meant to foster free trade and economic integration among member states. The scheme was instituted to eliminate trade barriers and simplify constant procedures. Trade and regional engagement remains the viable instrument that fast-track virile economic prosperity. At this one-day symposium organized by the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs in collaboration with the Enugu State Government, theme: increasing intra-regional trade through key stakeholders' engagement in regional market viability. In our opening remarks, the minister outlined trade benefits created by the government to remedy trade barriers among the 15 member states in the ECOWAS region.
The ministry will continue to prioritize economic diplomacy and trade facilitation because the prosperity of our people is the ultimate measure of our foreign policy.
Various speakers at the workshop outlined basic challenges that inhibit trade flow in the sub-region.
ECOWAS system to wake up and get strengthened both internationally and locally.
Not only Enugu State, but the entire Southeast business community gains access to the ECOWAS market.
Governor Peter Mbah identified unhindered access to credit facilities by businesses as panacea to economic viability.
So we must not lose sight of the fact that so much work needs to be done. Is that development institutions and banks, by government effort, will have to restructure. That their regional heads, for instance, the regional heads in Enugu, must have powers to approve certain level of facility for businesses without recourse to Abuja and take responsibility for that decision.
The workshop aims to create awareness amongst manufacturers, including MSMEs in the Southeast, on ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme. It also serves as access for new markets and generate foreign exchange for manufacturers. Bamidele Ajayi, TVC News Enugu.
Now, the governor of Niger State, Bago, has called on farmers to embrace dry season farming to boost food production in the state. He gave the charge while flagging off the distribution of mechanized farm equipment and life jackets provided by the National Hydropower Producing Areas Development Commission. Senior reporter Chineme Bamei brings us these details.
As the rainy season comes to an end, many farmers are already preparing to wait for the next planting season. But experts say dry season farming, if well utilized, can boost food production by up to 50%, ensuring food security even during the dry months. Governor Bago believes Niger State farmers can take advantage of the lower Niger Basin to grow more crops all year round. At the flag-off event, the governor distributed 13 hand-driven power tillers, relief materials, and life jackets to farmers, all provided by Hypodec. He says dry season farming will not only sustain farmers during the lean months, but also reduce dependence on food imports.
We encourage farmers in Niger State to go into pasture production. It will not crash. Livestock will not crash. So rather than going to plant corn or rice, you can plant pasture for animals. It will reduce intercommunal clashes between farmers and herders. It will also reduce the migration of herders across the country.
The managing director of the commission, Abubakar Yelwa, said out of the 850 units of power tillers meant for all NIPADEC states, 165 have been allocated to Niger State.
But the level of intervention was minimal because of the financial impediment the commission is suffering from. But the major funder of the Hyperdeck community should be the generating companies. And you are aware the generating companies are being owed over 4 trillion naira by the federal government, but which the federal government has recently promised to do something about it. We are hopeful that once that obligation is settled by the government to the generating companies, the generating companies will also offset their obligations to the commission.
Communities that live close to these dams that produce hydropower do not only suffer economic loss but also loss of lives. Due to poor transportation systems, these life jackets will ensure that